Hello and welcome to everyone mostly being in the right place. Everyone introduce yourselves while I rearrange you so that everything works properly.
Hi, I'm Ash. I'm a game designer and streamer and GM. And I am very, very tired, but it's okay because I am being uplifted by the presence of all these fucking gorgeous people.
Tell us about your character.
Yeah. Caesar's pretty terrible. He's pretty bad. In that he's recently been confronted with the fact that like end of last season he was confronted with the fact that the like fan fiction and like Pinterest boards that he'd been like channeling his like femininity into as a way of like excising it from himself has manifested into his like avatar, which turns out means that it turns out is like feminine and is like a better expression of himself. And now he's very confused and is being a bit of a toxic masculine shithead in response, in a very confused and chaotic way. But his appearance in the quote unquote real world is he's got a very like that like the shabby but made by like quality clothes makers look. So it's all like, oh yeah, I'm wearing like a shitty trench coat, but it's made with like very expensive materials and all of those sorts of things. And I'm gonna wear a beanie, but it's like a
You got your Louis
fucking
Vuitton beanie.
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. He's like, oh no, like if you look at him from a distance, he looks kind of like a hobo. But then you get closer and you're like, holy shit, that's the most stylish hobo I've ever seen. And then yeah.
So derelict then also
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's Caesar.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm done panicking about overlays. And I use they them pronouns, and I'm the MC. So I'm playing all the characters that aren't these four lovely people.
Why don't you tell us about all of them, Andrew?
All of the no, I can't. There's no time. Kira, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, I'm Kira. I'm a queer cyborg game designer. I live in Columbus, Ohio. My pronouns are she, her, and I am playing a character named Case. I should remember that because that's the most William Gibson name, and I picked that one on purpose because of that. It's fine. It's fine. They have they them pronouns. They're an enigma playbook, which means they have masks upon masks upon masks, and their heritage is Indonesian. They have like kind of a punk rock style. They have a crush on Caesar and are best friends with Char or Shar. I'm not sure which one that is. Is it Char or Shar? Sorry.
Char. Hard char.
Ch?
Yeah.
I'm hearing Jaja.
No, you're not. You're being too much of a brat. I'm muting
The
you.
lost hero. Oh, dang.
Perfect segue to Daniel. You want to talk about yourself and your character?
Sure. I'm Daniel. I play games like this one. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Char, the Guardian, who is a survivor slash escapee of the cult that is originally behind the conspiracy, which is now metastasized into some kind of online virus. But before that, it was a bunch of weird Mason types, and I was part of them. Char was rescued in the previous season by this group and has become best friends with Case. Char also has a crush on Caesar, but that's important distinction there is I have a crush on Caesar, the real life Caesar, whereas I believe Case has a crush on Viola, who is Caesar's alter ego in the dream world. So
No. That's all. This is very important. Case's alter ego has a crush on.
Yeah, there's this like superhero
Caesar's
connection.
Because
Ulti.
I'm the only one who knows that they're the same person.
Yes.
So that's
Exactly.
it's complicated.
There's some convoluted mystery bullshit going on. It's great.
And yeah, Char has lots of unresolved trauma and is all about sound and voices and music and stuff.
Cool. And Luke.
Hello, I am Luke. I am, like many of these lovely people, a game designer. I'm also a podcast host and a GM for children and some other things that I'm not going to talk about because Andrew will mute me.
That's right.
My
No
character-
anthropology on this show.
That's
Not on
right.
my stream.
This is an anthropology unfriendly space. My character is hot, and he is the unlikely hero, which means he cannot transcend. And he is not a magical girl yet, but like one day, maybe, if he's good. He is very tired all the time because he wants to just take care of everyone and not have to hurt anybody. And both of those things are very hard because all of these characters are so extra and ridiculous 24/7. And so he's just a very tired boy who needs a nap.
Great.
I feel like that's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, I think so. So last time we got through all of the downtime stuff and we were ready to dive into someone's brain, basically. The dream world of Case's friend Tiff, whom we have mostly seen from this like outsider perspective. We haven't actually gotten a lot of the like Case angle, the established relationship.
Yeah, because there is Case's ex, right? Not just
Yes.
friend.
Yes, ex-girlfriend,
Oh,
a
yeah.
friend and fellow queer is the note that we have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what I'm
Nice.
I'm friends with my ex.
You
That is very queer. It's true.
and
Sorry,
so
We didn't break
Um,
up. Our relationship just changed, and I was a shithead, like, in the process of that.
Truth.
and so I'm curious to, before we get into this, pick your brain a little bit, Kira, about what your kind of previous relationship with Tiff was like and what the kind of like the Tiff of yesterday was. Because
Yeah.
we've seen her be in this like changed set of circumstances, and I was kind of deliberately like letting it hang a little bit so that we can contrast the previous relationship and experience of her with this new version.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I would love to interrogate you a little bit before we dive into this person's head.
Cool.
So what were your thoughts on like the time that you two spent together and the kind of person that Tiff was?
I'm just gonna make some stuff up right now.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Cool. I think that Tiff, like me, is a little bit of a rebel, and that's why we were drawn to each other. I'm not sure how. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I guess, Case is a rebel in like the punk rock fashion and music type of way, like subculture. But I don't know. I imagine Tiff to be like kind of an angry teenager. Like, yeah, maybe we met in the music scene. That makes sense.
Mm.
And
In a mosh pit.
yeah, and they're like really pretty progressive and weird. And probably our relationship was like kind of about that, just being like, we're both weird, let's experiment with that because we've never done this before, and let's go listen to angry music and make out and get angry about the world together and break things.
I like the idea of
High romance.
bonding in like the like ambulance or like the medical tent after like someone's been like seriously injured in a mosh pit. Just like, oh shit, I fucking like broke your face. Let's hang out
Yeah.
for a bit.
Yeah. One of
Yeah.
you was involved in a riot. One of you was a street medic. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
Can I make
they're
it
like a
more
burgeoning
obvious?
a
Like a
punk love
burgeoning-
story.
anarchist thing, or like
Yeah.
just like the Life is Strange sequel.
It's just a
Continue.
perfect romance, really.
Yeah.
Is what
So
I'm
something
hearing.
like that. Does that answer your question or help you in any way?
Yeah, that
Andrew?
totally helps.
Okay.
Based on this, I would like to posit that Tiff and Boone may well know each other.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean,
Like,
that explains why Boone was so upset about the
right? Like,
Yeah, like maybe there was that layer that we didn't get
That we didn't
explicitly,
learn
but
about,
now we
but,
can
like-
read into
Yeah.
how Boone was feeling about it. Um,
Yeah.
And also, the baseline assumption I have for the society's view of people doing gay stuff is that that's not super cool in the eyes of
Yeah.
the broader
that makes
culture.
so that we can punch society in the face. I get it.
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
course we want to be able to have there be some
I mean, yeah,
sad feelings to work against. I mean,
I was kind of.
sorry.
I have noticed that like everyone we've met so far is a counterculture, queer, radical. This is just like a general note. Like our society is supposed to be defined by like conformity.
I mean, yeah, most of the people I'm connected to, like my little brother isn't rebellious, but like wants to be. My mum is not rebellious. And like, like I've got a lot of connections to
I
Yeah, the
that.
characters we've given screen time to, though, to
Yeah.
be fair to Daniel, yeah, to Daniel's point, absolutely. The characters that we
Yeah.
have put on screen have all been the kind of
I guess I'm just thinking like
outsiders thus
even
far.
in terms of the like our imagined romance, like that would be different than someone in maybe cultures that we're familiar with being like if someone did that now, that would be like a pretty normal thing for people to do. Like go to a mosh pit show and make out with someone of the same gender as you, or whereas like I don't know, I just want to make sure we're not. I don't know. I'm wondering if we're losing track of like the larger context a little bit.
I'm trying to follow you.
Yeah,
like-
so
ahead.
Daniel, are you suggesting that we need to have more signs
I guess
of the
I'm just thinking
oppression?
I'm just kind of keep that in mind when I think about the context of Tiff's of the
Yeah.
relationship that we described, right? It's like
Yes, that this was a like transgressive thing, and that's
Yeah.
part of what I want to. That's why I'm checking in about all this stuff, because I think a big part of what has motivated her to like move out of her house has been to be able to not have her family censor her behavior and that kind of thing. So,
cool. Okay.
yeah,
let these strangers do it instead.
Yeah, I like the idea that like that like if it was a like a rave or a mosh or whatever, that it was that like technically actually illegal within our society. Like it was a
yeah, that
like-
was my assumption totally upon hearing
Yeah.
that like this punk show was, in an old like boathouse or warehouse or something, that it was not like a legit venue.
And then the cops came to bust us at the end, and we all ran away,
definitely.
like in the Janelle Monáe video.
Exactly like that.
And the cult is like more mainstream styled, right? Like,
Yeah, there's a certain severity and
Yeah, but the cult is also a reaction to the main, like,
Mhm.
right? That's part of why it's popular, is because it's also a rebellion. It's just
right. Which is
that,
why I
yeah.
thought she might be drawn in, right? As
yeah,
a
because it
rebellious
seems like it
angry
might
person.
be a cool place, but then
Yeah,
maybe has turned out not to
it's
be.
cool.
right.
It's just like a different set of shitty, oppressive structures
Yeah.
that people
Yeah.
trade out for. Okay,
We
great.
don't really know yet what it's like.
Yeah, we can figure some of that out here. So I feel like I have enough background now for Tiff's kind of what Tiff's internal world is going to be like, that we can jump into our mission
To
here
her
of
internal world. Yeah.
yeah, entering a suspect's dream, searching for clues about their involvement and the truth of their heart. So figuring out what her connection to the conspiracy is, and yeah, like what her actual feelings are and stuff, because we've only gotten these kind of outsider looking at her perspectives in terms of what her motivations and thoughts and feelings are.
Let's respect her interiority.
We're about to disrespect her interiority,
Invading it and
actually.
stealing objects from it? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're also respecting that it exists rather than just like her entirely as
Oh, yeah.
any.
We as players, certainly. And so I'm imagining like everyone goes to sleep one night, you all kind of meet up in the behind the scenes space that you move through in the dream. And that probably God, what is your character's super cool mask name thing? Right, it's Love.
Oh, love. I forgot.
That of course like Love is the one who is best able to find Tiff.
Is Love the avatar name or the persona
It's my
name?
avatar. It's my avatar name, I guess. I don't know. What's the difference between your avatar and your persona?
I feel like those are one and the same, certainly for Case, especially.
For the Enigma, so she's always I thought the avatars would happen when you transcend.
Yeah, right. Like
Oh yeah, that's a fair point.
That's
actually.
the tricky bit there.
Right, so
because our avatars we've described them as people who are separate from us in some important way. So I assume
I feel like there
he's
is
supposed to have some kind of interim persona.
yeah, there is room for Case to either like go along as Case and just be like, hey guys, yeah, let's go do the thing, and then like disappear at some convenient moment and have Love show up in a very like Clark Kent kind of vibe is one way that we could approach this. The other option is that you're there in a mask. People can't recognize you as being Case. They see you as Love. You're still in your like, you know, you've adopted this other persona, and then whether or not you're transcended, we kind of can separate. But the
That's a
idea is just
mechanical
that,
question. Yeah.
yeah, that the
Yeah. Well, I like the Clark Kent silliness. So I'm gonna...
yeah, that you like tag along in the dream, but then disappear at some critical juncture.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you also you have the move where when you transcend, you can just like disappear, right?
Cool. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to roll perception to notice Case disappearing, Andrew.
No, you can't. It's not allowed.
Your passive perception is too low. Sorry.
Exactly.
You notice. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so yeah, we see the crew meet up in the dream, and through the various like ducts and back channels and weird like alleyways and hidden spaces, there's like this montage of you moving through the dream. And when y'all are outside of Tiff's dream, I think it is characterized as like it's the house that she's living in now, and all of the windows are painted red, and it's like totally dark, and y'all like walk through the door, and of course the door opens into some totally weird landscape. Like it's not just like we're in the house now, you know, it's the whole
Does it open into a mosh pit, but like in the way that we've described the dream, like there's no people. It's just like a mosh pit and a lot of shadows cast on the floor by all the like lights.
Yeah, maybe I think
really loud music.
I think using that particular like abandoned warehouse punk venue as the like
metaphor
entry point is great actually. But yeah, that it's totally empty. So y'all step into that.
So wait, is it the house that you're living in now, or is it an abandoned warehouse?
You open the door to the house and you're in the abandoned warehouse. It's one of those things where
it's a dream.
The threshold doesn't function in the way we expect it to.
Dream in a dream.
Ooh.
And so as y'all enter the space, like the music slowly like fades in, and there's this like loud thrashy punk music coming from a stage with no band on it, and yeah, you're in this dingy sort of like warehouse down by the waterfront, converted to a venue. It's covered in graffiti. There are like beer bottles and other like kind of stuff like debris strewn about. The floor is kind of sticky. All the things we have come to expect of a venue. And I think there's some possession of Tiff's, like there's like the shirt she was wearing that night or something has been like is like inside out, as if someone had like torn it off and has been like discarded on the stage. in case you like recognize it right away. And we'll just pick up here.
Yeah, Caesar like takes off his sunglasses and like lights a cigarette at the same time because he like glitches and has his arms are in like multiple places at once as he's like just being, like leans against a wall and is like, this is a shithole.
This is where we met. In case like runs up to the stage and grabs the t-shirt.
I think Heart looks small somehow in the dream space. Like nothing about him has changed, but there's just like in relation to the other characters in his environment, he's just like a little bit less.
Like the camera keeps framing him so that he's like perspectively like back.
Yeah, like a little bit shorter. And
Yeah.
just like a little bit like less broad and like a little bit like less solid. Because this isn't really his.
So,
face yet.
yeah, we talked earlier about how we kind of in the dream we're like dressed to become our avatar in a way. We have our look, but it doesn't come together until we transcend.
Mm-hmm.
Does Heart have that?
Heart just looks like
So you don't even like look different because
no, yeah,
okay.
it's just like it's just the same like many layers of clothes, like bulky and heavy.
And that's
like,
probably true for both Heart and Case, that they look kind of the same, and that the two who are Char and Caesar are the ones who like come dressed up already.
are dressed to impress.
Yeah, and I would point out, by the way, since we're in season 2, historically, in season 1, before you rescued my character, the only person who could transcend was Case's alter ego. All the rest of you, because Ash, you said you were unlucky hero in season 1.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
have
can
so
transcend
many-
because I'm a weird cult member. We don't know, except for me, that Case is love.
Yeah.
So like Ash, you're like our new superhero in a way because you can actually do this thing. Like you and
Yeah,
me
and so-
are now the only people who can do it.
I like
It's
the,
just a historical note, I guess.
I like the image that like Caesar's digital form like has all of these, like he's still wearing like his like, you know, chunky jackets and like Doc Martens and stuff, but they've picked up all of these affectations of like lace and like little neon highlights and things that are like Viola's like stylistic nodes. But like I think he's just not clicking on like to that being a thing. I don't think he realizes he's wearing blue lipstick.
Oh, like that same lipstick that Case had offered him.
He like because he can't see, he hasn't seen his reflection in
Right.
the dream.
So subconsciously he's put that on.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah, that came up because I was imagining maybe what distinguishes Heart and then Case is that like me and Ash look like we're in a dream. Like we look like dream characters because we have these weird. Well, that's how I imagine at least Char looks, is that she's got all these woven things on her and she's got all these like weird ritual objects and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's like a weird separation there.
Caesar's hair is like continually blowing in the wind, even though like wearing
Yeah,
a tie.
We've got a very distinct like aesthetic separation running down the middle of the group in this like establishing shot of Soul in the big empty warehouse.
I mean,
Yeah.
Good.
Case looks cool because Case dress is cool, but you know.
I mean, it's okay.
Sure.
I think Heart
Yeah.
is following Case up to the stage.
yeah,
Cool.
his Case
For
there-
once Heart is able to like be around to like actively help Case not get in trouble rather than being stuck back in the like workshop. And
Maybe
so
like
he's like, oh my god, like I can actually find a channel for my feelings of like being worried about Case.
maybe Heart steps too close and like Case like shoves back a little like too close.
yeah, he's there.
Too much protection. Ash, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just talking about like how bullshit Caesar's presentation is. Like, so,
Oh.
So
like he looks like a fucking like he looks like some kind of like grungy. What's the Will Smith superhero?
Oh, I don't remember.
Hancock.
Hancock. He's that kind of like you know shabby but superhero at the same time.
Cool.
Cool. So Case,
So
Case has
I
this
love all the
T-shirt.
descriptions. Yes. I'm really glad there are character descriptions. I was really curious what your dream characters look like. So yeah, I guess Case holds the T-shirt up, Andrew, like you just said, and Heart is like right behind, like holds up through the lights, you know, from the
There's
stage,
this like
and, like, holding
bright
it or something.
magenta light that hits it. Yeah, what was Tiff wearing the night that you two met?
Yeah, totally like jeans and a T-shirt and like some kind of cool belt with like studs on it, and yeah, like a whole bunch of bracelets.
Okay.
So whatever this T-shirt is, yeah, I don't know what kind of T-shirt. Maybe it has like, oh, what's like a cool obscure punk band. I don't know.
There's a T-shirt depicting the logo of a cool obscure punk band from this made-up city that we have.
Correct.
So it was clear that Tiff was like in the scene in a meaningful way.
Yeah, she was like my guide.
And so you pick up this shirt and the logo that had featured like there was like a person in it or whatever. It was like the logo and then some cool like punk person smashing something. It now depicts Tiff instead of the character that was originally on it. There were like all these weird self-inserts into all of the material. Like you start noticing the graffiti is all things that she has said to you in the course of your relationship. But you can also like remember like, oh yeah, there was that one big like wall that was done in a particular style, and the style is consistent, but all the letters have changed to be like quotes from your relationship and stuff.
The old posters from on the wall are all like scenes of like time the two of you spent together.
Yeah, exactly. All the like punk show posters have been reframed with all these self-inserts.
Case is getting a little emotional, I think. It's like a like maybe it's obvious in their face, like their face, I don't know, maybe it's like their eyes get a little glistening.
Yeah, and the music turns sad suddenly, like it was thrashy punk music, and then it has taken on like a sad kind of mournful key to it.
Suggestions for like punk band names: Killing for Sport.
That's great. Yeah, so it's Killing for Sport, and it has a picture of now Tiff on it, like punching a cop or something. Just this like very heavy-handed anti-establishment imagery.
Yes. So what do we do now? I don't know what to do in the dream.
Yeah. I think like Heart like clears his throat and is like, Case, you right?
Yeah, I'll be fine. This is fine. Going into your ex-girlfriend's dreams isn't weird. It's totally normal. It's the normal thing that people do.
I'm not convinced. I would like to roll empathize, if I may, to try and get a picture of what Case's emotional landscape like actually is, because that sounds like some horse shit right there.
And I feel like Luke, your character has like if you want to learn about the dream itself by way of Case, like using Case as a vector into the dream. Yeah, exactly, as like a lens in which to understand it. I think that's totally
like Case and the shirt together like is a kind of
because they're really deeply connected here. And so some information will be made clear.
So
perhaps.
I'm using empathize.
Sure.
I feel like I'm gathering information about someone's emotions.
Yeah, totally.
So I get +1 die.
Mm-hmm.
Kira, would you like to help me?
No.
That is a reasonable thing to say. I thought I would check. Andrew, what is my position?
So for just gathering info like this, we'll say controlled. Your effect is standard.
Yep.
There's no like super immediate threat yet.
Unless Case's feelings are very overwhelming, but like we'll see.
I think
Is there like a devil's bargain? Well, okay.
I can
I'm
think
good.
of a good dark bargain in the moment. Okay, so
I'm good.
you can ask me a couple questions.
Yep. First, Kira, what is your character really feeling?
My character is really feeling sadness for the loss of a very close love and the first love of their life.
Aww, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
These were very, very fond memories. And it's very teenagerly overwhelming right now.
And are they feeling crowded by Heart? Because I think that is the
I
thing.
think they're too
Heart-
distracted.
I feel like I think that's a thing Heart is looking for. Is like what do they need? What do they need from me? Like in this moment.
One thing I might pitch in with regard
Yes.
to Case, your like read of this situation, it's clear that this all meant a lot to Tiff as well.
Yes.
Like that in her dream there is this like perfectly reconstructed instance of that space where the two of you met with like all these little
Yeah.
details, and yeah.
Aw.
So it's possibly extra sad as a result of
Aw.
that. Yeah.
It's like a nice sad, but a sad.
Yeah, it's like, touching, but then also like, the relationship didn't work out or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Luke, please continue.
Okay. All right, I know what one of my questions is. Group. Straw poll. Should we find out what is most dangerous or where we can find beauty? Which of those things is more interesting to us?
That was
It's
more
like-
interesting to Heart.
I mean, good question. Because whichever question I ask Andrew is obviously gonna like poke the hornet's nest in either direction. So like,
They're great. They're both great. Yeah.
You can ask both. Those could be your two questions.
but I know what my second question. I know
Okay.
what my second
Okay.
question is. It is neither of them. Okay, where can I find beauty here?
I mean, so there's that stuff we just talked about how the space is like Tiff having painstakingly reconstructed this moment that she really cherished from her life. There's like a kind of broad thing I'll contribute as well, which is of course that there is beauty in Caesar that he's not seeing.
Yeah.
That might be on your radar as you look over
Yeah,
and see him with like
I think
all these like lace and filigree and like femme touches to his aesthetic, and he's suddenly wearing this like blue lipstick, and yeah, there's like it catches Heart's eye as you're like looking around, being like, what is this space?
Yeah, I think what this looks like is like Hot is like looking at Case and then looks at the space and like is trying to see like how Case and the shirt and the feelings the Case is obviously feeling, like how that fits into this space, and then just accidentally
It was
notices like,
huh. But
Rocky, proud of you, buddy.
more to the point though, where you can find beauty here is that there's like a narrative thread that follows out of this space. I think you notice like a door to like
It's lit or something.
there's something about it, yeah, that sticks out. I wonder if it's like I need to make some symbolic
wonder-
object for Tiff or some mark for Tiff, and I can't think.
Well,
of what
I
it
was
would be.
wondering if like you can move through the t-shirt like to a place.
That would be super cool and weird. Yeah, maybe you see the illustration
Like
start to
move.
like animate, like it's doing like a little animated GIF loop, and through it you can see the like more details start to form. Like you look at it and there's this moment where you're like, ugh, as like you like almost switched scenes into being inside of
I'm like,
that
okay,
space.
there is a space inside this t-shirt. Cool.
And when you like shake your head and look at it again, it's back to being an illustration. But there's this like, I don't know, what's Tiff's color? Kira, what's Tiff's
Pink.
color? Pink?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are these like, there are these pink flower petals forming like a little trail, and you look down at your feet and you notice that there are like a couple around you, that there's this sense of like a trail of petals that will lead you through this person's kind of narrative, and that this is the start of this like important, moment.
And these petals
for...
are beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool. What are Tiff's unmet needs?
Ooh.
What does this space reveal to me about Tiff's unmet needs?
So maybe you like reach down and pick up one of those petals.
Yeah, and like smell it, because it like I don't know about you, Andrew. I'm imagining like cherry blossom petals, like
it's something in that
strong.
kind of vein. Yeah. Just to be super heavy. Actually, yes, of course it's cherry blossoms. That's the most like symbolically loaded.
Yeah, like
thing for this is
I
like
know
someone's
what we're doing here, right?
innocent,
like,
heartfelt youth that then okay, great.
was cut short. Yeah, right.
Okay,
like
yeah.
yeah, there's like the tiniest like hint of the perfume of like spring like left clinging to it, but like
and you touch it and your fingers come away red, as if the petal like bled slightly. And yeah, there's this like ominous coppery smell to it when you expect cherry and instead get the like coppery smell of blood. And so the unmet needs here are around like a proper follow through to the like the story has a bad end. It starts beautifully and has a bad end, is what you can tell from this. Because
Tiff needs a happy ending.
Yeah, and it just isn't there.
Okay, that's sad. I'm fine. I'll just sit here with my feelings for a bit. Someone else do something.
And so yeah, the thing with the like shirt starting to animate and stuff, like Case, obviously you see that.
Yes.
And you become aware of these like flower petals that you're standing among.
Cool. So I guess I'll say to everyone like, hey, it looks like we have to go deeper. I don't know. And then like
it's a very Inception thing to
sorry, I was too Inception. And then like
Case narrows their eyes and says,
sticks a hand through the shirt or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you like touch it and it feels normal at first, and then there's this like gravity to it as it like it just like takes over your vision, and then you're in that space suddenly, and everyone else, it just like happens that the backdrop changes. And we're out in the street of the city. It's empty. The wires like hang low and ominously. All the lighting is like various variations on pink neon, but like through to like the more purpley end or the more red end. You're in some like nightlife district of the city. It's very like close and oppressive, and everything's kind of compressed and claustrophobic.
Cool.
And Char, maybe you're the one who probably would notice this. As you're like leaving that warehouse, as the scene changes, you see like the walls rot, like all the wooden beams like age 100 years in a moment and like split and fall apart, and like the whole thing collapses behind you as you like transition out of it. And yeah, you're in this street and Tiff is standing there, and she seems to be like, you've caught up with her. She's having a dream in which she is like talking to someone in the street who then you can't see. And she's just like, well, I mean, yeah, but no, it's not like that. Okay, well, I mean, it is like that. Okay, but just, I know it's weird and that you're not into it, but just, can you help me? And then she like waits for a response and then says, okay, great. Yeah, no, let's go. And then like walks down the street with this person that isn't there. And she's leaving that trail of like weird bloodstained cherry blossoms.
it's like the bloodstained cherry blossoms. I just am remembering the fact that like we all like kind of like when we interact with things like leave our mark on them.
Mhm.
And like I like the image of like the bloodstained, like you can like obviously like what's the character's name? Heart like picked up a cherry blossom, but like I like the idea that like by default is a texture that is applied to like where she steps or the things she like touches in the dream, because it's like the same as like us tinting things
Mhm.
without
I
touch.
I think it makes total sense too because like the idiom of Heart's paradigm is also like plant-based. And so the fact that like he can like interact with them as though they were physical objects like makes a certain kind of poetic sense to me. What I'm really curious about is like, does Case still have the shirt, and like what is the imprint that Case is touching has left on the shirt? What's that look like?
Because yeah, Case, what was your kind of telltale thing? Because everyone has a different one. I remember
Oh,
Caesar's is like verdigris or whatever. Did we
oh, I don't.
establish what Case's thing was?
I'm
I'm
not
not sure if we
sure.
came up with them for everyone.
I don't actually even. I don't know what verdigris is.
It's the way that copper tarnishes, where it goes green.
No, that's weird that I didn't know that as a metals major. I just
You're
never
never
heard
supposed
that
to
word
let
before.
anything tarnish. They didn't. They didn't even want to suggest the possibility.
Yeah, you can purposefully change things. I don't like. So you're touching things and they change. Is the idea?
Yeah, that everyone kind of leaves like a fingerprint, like a metaphorical fingerprint on things.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I had the butterfly outfit, so maybe something to do with.
Is it like a dusting of that way that like moth wings are like dusty?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Where there's a little.
Or like the scale pattern that you get if you
was
zoom
gonna say,
really
like-
close on a
I was
butterfly
gonna
wing.
say like the thing of like things becoming like that like kind of stained glass mosaic effect that you see on like a lot of butterfly wings.
Yeah, like a Damien Hirst art piece. Yeah. So obviously, Case still has a T-shirt. It's like tucked in a back pocket and hanging out, all cool. And yeah, it starts to look like have wing patterns on it. That's
Right. Yeah. Like everything. What was a white T-shirt now is starting to have these like patterns appear on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we see like a blossom like fall from Heart's fingers because like he's
Yeah.
done with it, but it's got like, and it's like still exactly as it was, but there's like a mossy thumbprint, just like covering like one half of it,
Mm.
and
Cool.
where the like blood stains like touch the moss, there's these like tiny little red flowers growing up.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I guess Case like runs up to like stand in the invisible person's spot. Like they like want to walk right next to
Right.
Tiff.
Perfect.
Dream inside, do it.
And
I
yeah.
think when Case goes to do that, we see that Char's first impulse is to stop them from doing that. But maybe they don't move fast enough, or they just change their mind.
But yeah, like a hand, you like reach out a hand as if to
Yeah,
stop them,
and I think as soon as we appear in the new place and there's someone there, I would have stepped forward
Mm-hmm.
like the first person. But then Case just goes by. I don't.
yeah, you're like, is this dangerous? And then it's like, it's not immediately, and so
It's clearly dangerous.
Yeah, like maybe Case even like kind of moves your hand out of the way, like sorry, I'm hearing more about my old feelings.
wow. And so kind of without skipping a beat, Tiff goes from having a conversation with this person to then being like, oh, hey Case, and like talking to you, as if it were like perfectly natural that this person who wasn't you has turned into you.
Sure.
From her subjective point of view, it's just that dream shifting thing where a person you're talking to is suddenly another person.
Yeah, it's the standard dream shit. And she kind of inclines her head.
Oh, hey
Just,
Tiff.
what are you doing tonight?
Going to a concert with you, obviously.
Oh, right. Yeah, who are we seeing? And she just kind of like
yeah.
smiles and slips her arm around your arm.
Oh gosh,
I
feelings.
narrow my eyes. Very dangerous.
This is fine. I can't remember their name. You know them all better than me. I think there's like a logo with like someone smashing a guitar.
Oh yeah. What is it? What's a dumb punk band name? Music for
The Beta Manhurst effect.
Music for birds.
That sounds great. All those are great.
yeah, it's Music for Birds. We'll go with.
It's like a little bit of like it's on the like techno side of punk, and they use a lot of like sampled like bird noises that are remixed to sound really like distorted and aggressive and yelly in the way that punk music can sometimes be.
Sure.
Oh yeah, no, it's the Music for Birds. They have their new album or their new tape,
Yeah.
sorry, coming out.
I'm really excited to go see them. I didn't think you'd want to go tonight. I thought you were busy with something else.
And she's just like kind of says like, "Oh," and rolls her eyes. Yeah, I guess I got away from the house for a bit. She says, kind of like baffled that that is the case.
And like Andrew, as soon as she says that, the house appears somewhere in the dreamscape, right? Like
yeah, and you like turn.
there's a logic to these things.
Are coming down the street to a corner. There's like a T intersection, and it wasn't there before, but now the house is just at the end of the street, and there's the road that parts in front of it.
Caesar has been like watching for things that are like not in that immediate interaction. Like for instance, if there are any shadows on the floor to indicate other people, or like things changing in ways like that. Like that's the thing. Like Caesar has been basically replaying the cigarette emote repeatedly, and just looking around all of the like.
Yeah, I think
suspicious.
Things were more quiet. There were like a couple of those like anonymous shadowy figures, moving about in the space. But then once we are in front of the house, there starts to be the ambient noise of a crowd, like a busy downtown street or something, and there are lots of those figures like crossing and moving about. And for a moment, maybe you think you see a little flash of crimson on one of their chests, like a little pocket square or something in one of these like anonymous figures, but then it gets hidden behind others.
Wait. There aren't actual figures, right?
No, it's just like it's as if like someone's shadow is there,
Okay.
but there's no actual like person to provide it. There's this sense of like, but yeah, there's like a little flash of crimson in one of them.
It's like the train scene in Spirited Away.
Yeah, kind of like that's the kind of thing I'm picturing of it. Yeah, there's the sign of a figure, but they're completely featureless.
Except for that pocket square.
And Tiff like stops and goes rigid suddenly on your arm, Case, and just like was mid sentence like about talking about the band, and then just like stops short.
I'm glad that you were able to get away from the house, and like turns Tiff to look directly at Case instead of at the house, and says, because I was worried about you. I've actually missed you a lot.
Yeah, and I think she like pulls away like from you. And she says, "Well, that's rich."
What's rich about that? That's the truth.
Well, then why did we break up if you miss me so much?
I mean, I can miss you. I can miss you, right?
And she like crosses her arms and just like frowns at you.
Why did you break up?
What?
Yeah, why did the two of you break up?
I don't know.
Okay, who broke up with who? Was it mutual or was it like one person
Was it because
rejecting
of
the
this
other?
bullshit from Tiff where it's like everything is always that like externalized like
I think there would be some supreme irony if Tiff was the one who broke up with you, but has like twisted that within her own narrative.
oh yeah, like you made her break up with her.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like it's what you wanted.
Those are all great options.
Painfully familiar in some cases.
Yeah, no, I mean, just any of those would work. I don't know. What's the stupid reason you break up with your first lover or partner? Like,
I mean, like
probably something stupid. Like, we probably got into a stupid argument. I bet that's what it was, and we couldn't resolve it, and we were like, fine, fine.
And the
Fine,
argument
we
was
should break up.
the argument was super pointless and not really about like it wasn't clear what it was about even. It was one of those where it was just
Yeah.
it's gonna be like the first time you had like a serious, actually like serious argument, and you're like, oh well,
Yeah.
obviously we don't love each other anymore because we had an
Yeah.
argument.
Yeah, and this just isn't gonna work, and I guess we have to be friends.
yeah.
Oh, teens.
So I guess that's the answer. We don't really know because we're
Yeah.
stupid.
And so yeah, she just like she has started telling herself that you broke up with her.
Hmm.
Clearly, because that's the line she gives you of like, well then why did you break up with me?
I didn't break up with you. We got into an argument, and then we didn't talk for like 3 days. And I thought you had broken up with me. It seemed like you didn't want to be with me anymore. So I don't know. I still wanted to be friends with you, so I just texted you. I mean, that's it. I do still care about you a lot.
And she just kind of like sighs.
That sounds like someone was rolling confess. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. Why don't you put some dice behind this to see if you can get
That
her
rolls
to
nice.
come around?
That
a
sounded
little bit.
like a rules was happening.
So confess, I have a 0. Oh, I can just
Well, I mean,
roll it from my thing.
Here, like it's up to you what.
It's up to you what you roll. Yeah. It sounds like you're using your words here to try to get some kind of outcome, and you're welcome to let me know if that's like, are you expressing, trying to like convince her of this thing and change her mind?
Is this
or...
empathize? Is this forgive? Is this?
I feel like I'm trying to like distract her from this like house situation because I am suddenly scared of it too.
Yeah, it's definitely that kind of like, oh, suddenly this like nightmare image is appearing, and there's like that threat that the dream is going to change and be about that. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that conceal.
Yeah, actually.
Wait. Is Case pretending to have these feelings?
I am distracting her with my real feelings. It's like 2 things.
Okay.
Yeah, the feelings are real, but your motivation for sharing them is actually is something that you're hiding. So you're tricking her into not paying attention to the house.
Okay.
Yeah, and that could also, I'm fine with whatever, to be honest. So.
I feel like either conceal or express could satisfy this particular behavior, and it's up to you to decide which one you think it is.
I think it's conceal. Is it risky, controlled, or desperate?
This is definitely risky. There's this sense that you have in the moment of like suddenly the atmosphere shifted and like the dream is kind of on like a tipping point. Like it could become very bad very easily. So we'll say risky.
I am feeling tense.
And your effect can be standard. This isn't like outside of your scope right now, I don't think.
Oh, I see. I didn't understand what this meant. That makes sense. Okay, I have rolled them. What did I get? Where did it go?
A 1.
Oh, it's down there. Oh, I got a 1. That's great. That's fine.
I have a backup plan. Andrew, can I activate my backup plan?
I'm fine with failing. That's fine.
How do we see what happens first?
So I will describe a bad thing that happens.
Yeah, I just wanted to like, I'm in position to step in. I just wanted.
Everyone has the option at that point. Once I describe the bad thing, then at your option you can resist it. And if you choose to resist it, then what's going to happen is that you're going to roll an appropriate resistance. There are the 3 different ones. And then I will say, cool, that thing doesn't happen, or a lesser version of it happens. and you will take an amount of stress based on your roll, and then we just keep carrying on. So it's not like
Sounds great.
my description will not be final in that way. There's room for it to get wheeled back a little bit. So,
Okay.
and yeah, you're just like you recount this this narrative to her, and she gosh, what did she say? I think she says, well, you know, I talked to my family about it the night before, and, you know, it didn't go so well. Case, so it hurt when things didn't work out after that, and I couldn't go home. And then, like,
No.
the house just like does the thing where it gets bigger or something, like it looms over, like the framing kind of twists and distorts, so it's like super like looming over you, and its shadow like falls over her, and the lighting all shifts to red from the like pink and neon that it was before,
Oh no.
and the street kind of starts to like sink in where she's standing,
Okay.
and things are just
Cool.
gonna like devolve from there. But if someone would like to resist, then we can catch this before it gets that bad.
Isn't this what we're here for? I'm not resisting.
I mean, yeah, I think Caesar is like Caesar is gonna like pull out a big sword and hit the house.
That seems logical.
It's a dream.
He's gonna try and like
Yeah, no, it does.
like he's gonna put himself between Case and Tiff and the house with his big sword, because he's got a very big
Sword.
sword. Gonna hit the house, and oh god, Caesar, what is your
Okay,
Buddy.
and
Maybe Caesar should attack Tiff instead. I don't know. Just
no, the house is the scary thing.
Daniel,
Okay.
we're here to
Okay.
help Tiff.
Is this just defensive or whatever? Is this a resist?
so this is you
action?
resisting the consequence on Case's
Yeah.
behalf.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems like a somewhat problematic way to do it, but let me
Sounds
just consult
like
my thing.
Sundari.
here.
Also, I'm not transcended.
Yes, and so that's where
Oh dear.
Wait, what does it mean if you're not transcended? Do you have less powers or something?
You're bad at dream stuff.
yeah, basically as soon as any like supernatural dream shit happens.
Mhm.
So I will just read through my guidelines. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, it's cool. Like I
I
can
don't
just
know this either, so
let me lay this out for you and the folks at home. So, while you are your mundane self, for position, my guideline is that it's risky at best for any mundane threats, and desperate. Your position will always be desperate against any magical threat. Your effect level will be standard at best in the face of immediate mundane threats, and you will have no effect or limited effect against magical threats. And for resistance, you will partially mitigate mundane consequences and need to resist before acting against magical threats. And then while transcended, your position is controlled against most mundane things, and like mundane things can happen in the dream. Like you talking to Tiff is a perfectly mundane thing, even though you're in the dream. It's not like you're on some crazy dream landscape or whatever.
Right.
Stuff like that. But then your position will be risky against most magical threats as the default once you're transcended. So you're kind of on like an even footing with it. Your effect will be great against most mundane threats, standard against most magical threats, and then when you're transcended, you can fully mitigate most mundane consequences and fully mitigate some magical consequences. So you're going to do a better job of resisting things if you're transcended. And once this dream turns into a nightmare, anytime there's like an immediate thing that you're trying to do, if you're not transcended, you're probably going to need to roll to resist first. There's going to be like a certain amount of scrambling and dealing with shit before you can actually achieve anything.
Gotcha. And you can
Eclipse.
just say
Here
when
I
you're
come.
transcended, like you can just be like, I'm transcended now.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
I would want to hear a little bit of description of like what that looks like, but
Right.
it can happen immediately. So if this is
Well, does this sword? You just pulled a sword out of nowhere. Is that part of your transcending? Maybe. Or...
No, this is
you
just me
said
doing
sword.
like dream bullshit.
Okay.
And so it's like it's not a sword that can cut through anything or whatever. It's just like you have this like crummy
It's a
sword.
flip.
You're gonna boop the house with it, and it's not ultimately gonna do
Yeah.
much. But you're welcome to roll if you would like to do that.
Yeah. Is it Sundari? Sounds like Sundari.
I think there is some violence that is about to happen. Yeah. So the resistances are Moe is for resisting heartbreak and despair. Tsundere is for resisting consequences that are around violence and fear, and then Kudere is for panic and social pressure. Okay, so you take 1 stress, and you're gonna partially. So I'm gonna revise my description here. So you like hop out and start like banging on the fence of the house because this is like it's like a big.
Victorian.
Yeah, kind of like Victorian
manor
style house, and it has a little fence around it or whatever, and that's like the only thing you can get at, and you just like hit it and are like shouting at the house or something.
Yeah, that sounds like yeah, but he's got to look cool while he's doing it. So he totally does it in like there's like one swift motion. And he's like, shh. Imagine that Dave is playing Caesar right now.
Okay.
Like-
Okay. So you try to do some cool stuff at the house, and also when you step in and try to resist consequences for someone else, the first thing that you do is take the consequences on yourself. So Caesar is going to suffer here instead of Case. And I think in this case, for
Sorry.
Caesar, what that means is that the house just like looms up and then collapses down on you.
Yes.
So that you just pass through one of the windows.
Like
Aw,
that,
Buster Keaton.
Yeah, Buster Keaton, yeah.
Yeah, but like, but the whole house is just there, and it's like twisted over as if it were some
Yeah.
like head of some animal that was like snatching you up.
No.
And so Caesar is like half embedded inside the house, this is like in the background, and Tiff is still like really upset, and has started like tearing up, but in that like I'm shouting at you and crying kind of way. And meanwhile, Caesar is like entangled in this weird, stretchy house thing.
Yeah, I'm like now that I'm like in the window, I'm like attacking like lamps and like chests of drawers and things inside the house, just being like, wah, shoo, wah. And it's just all I'm doing is like the equivalent of like video game smashing barrels. But I think I'm really cool looking when I'm doing it.
So there's a bunch of nonsense happening in the background, and we'll keep the camera on Tiff and Case arguing. Tiff, I think, has
Right.
like shoved Case at this point.
But I think
Well,
if I mean, Kira, do you want to have Case react first, or do you? I have a reaction, but if you want to.
I don't know what makes narrative sense in this type of conflicts. I don't really care, to be honest. Case is just gonna reach, like when she shoves them, they'll reach for her, try to keep her from
Pull
falling,
her close.
because she's like falling down a hole, right? Like
Yes, totally. Like it's like starting to be this like whirlpool under her, but
Yeah.
we've like stalled it for now. And her yelling at you is no longer sensical. It's like people talking in their sleep.
yeah,
Like it's just nonsense that's coming out of her mouth.
cool.
But she's very upset and like shouting.
Case is very upset too. You can tell because they have a very furrowed brow right now. It's very like very serious and heartfelt, and they're just trying to grab her hand, but I don't know if she's going to let Case do that, or if there's just too much angry gesturing, or if that is like, I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to like come at this from that angle and put some dice behind it, I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah, is that a resist? I guess so. I had to pick like my.
This
I don't know.
this could be an action roll.
Okay.
Because we have forestalled things becoming a horrible nightmare for now, so like you're still kind of okay. It's not the kind of situation where you need to resist before acting, I don't think. And yeah, if you just want to like pull her, I imagine there would be a certain amount of the like, you're angry and shouting, "I'm gonna hug you now" to like try to calm you down thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that can totally be a thing. What action do you think that is?
I don't know. You mean empathize?
Yeah, I mean, like if this includes you starting to cry, then absolutely this could be
Yeah.
empathize.
Well,
Totally. I mean,
Is
Brown.
Tiff crying or is Tiff really angry?
both at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
if you just
This is
want to
why
like
Tiff is-
absorb all the like anger and all the feelings and stuff and do that work, then absolutely empathize feels like a good one here.
I will
This
do
is why
that.
Tiff is so relatable.
So it's risky still.
I think now we are in a desperate position though. I think
Yeah.
this is like the
Okay.
last thing that can maybe forestall the unraveling of this situation. So we'll call it desperate. Your effect level can be standard still.
Cool.
Um,
Cool. Here it goes.
Hey,
What happened?
there we go. You got a 6. So
Oh, that's not bad.
things actually calm down.
Good.
So yeah, you like pull her in, and she does the like one ineffectual, like punchy hand on your chest as she's like angry and crying, but then just like pushes her face into your shoulder. I imagine Case is being taller for some reason. I just imagine
yeah.
Case is being really tall. I don't know why.
I do too. Like kind of like lanky and a little tall. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine that as well.
So like her head is kind of nicely at shoulder level, and she just like kind of flops into your like arms and is just like crying now.
Sure. Case is crying too.
And yeah, like her breathing is like slowing down. It's she's not like ramping up, she's ramping down at this point, and like the lengthening of shadows kind of like stops. The ground stops being this like sinking thing. But we still hear Caesar in the background, like stuck inside the house, like shouting. And we'll take a break here, and we'll come back in maybe like 5 minutes. So
Sounds great.
hang tight, everyone.